Hey guys, it's me. It is September 13th, 2025. Um, what I want to, you're going to find me quite mad, but listen to me. Don't turn it off. Um, what I want to talk to you now about is time. Uh, if you have a 8 to 5 job, you got to be there at 8. You set your clock for 7. You got to be there at 8. If you're a woman, got to put your makeup on, all that. You set it for like 4. Um, just a little joke. I normally don't tell jokes that, I do in my books, but not in. But anyway, time is clocks were are one of the biggest downfall of man. And what I'm talking about is how many times have you been in a deep, deep sleep, wonderful sleep, and bam, the alarm, and you got hit it. Oh man, I gotta be at work or whatever. Um, nothing, not nothing, but one of the most major things that's the disturbance to the body is the natural rhythm that God made your body to be. Give you an example. I have a cold now. It's getting better. Cold typically is supposed to last 4 to 2 weeks, depending on the person. That's science. Um, but mine is getting better after 3 or 4 days. Excuse me, I'm kind of explain why I'm yawning also. Um, a couple hours ago, about 3 hours ago, I was watching a video and got tired, and I'm like, oh, this is Saturday. Uh, Saturdays, I typically volunteer at what most people call a soup kitchen. It would take me too long to explain what the bistro is, but along the same lines, feeding people who have nothing. And I'm the concierge there. I'm the person who sits down people and gives them the menu of what we have, because I suck at everything else. Uh, so I looked. I said, "Oh no, it's 4 in the morning. I need to get, and I have to be there. I volunteered from around 11 to 2 to 11:30. I said, oh no, I got to be there at 11. I got a code. Let me go to bed now, and if I sleep from 4 to 6, 4 to 11, uh, that's 7 hours. I'm like, psh. Um, it doesn't work that way. So I got comfortable, could barely lift my head, and I'm like, wow. And my microwave. Now I don't own a clock. I do, my computer and my phone has time on it, but I don't own the clock on the wall. Not because I don't want a clock. I just don't. Never had a need for them, no matter how much money I had or whatever. But it started blinking. Why? Because I used the microwave prior and never pressed stop. And if you press stop, it goes back to time. Mine kept blinking how much time was left. Because if you interrupt the microwave, it goes beep. It just flashes the time that's left that you originally set to microwave something. And I was like, oh man, I gotta get up. I couldn't get up, and I'm like, what in the world is going on? I can't even lift my head. Uh, so I fell asleep. Now at 4 o'clock I was feeling just horrible, and I was like, man, this has happened the whole day and night for me this day. I would lay down and only sleep 2 hours with a bad cold instead of sleeping the whole 6, 8 hours. You ever slept and it's the next day because you were just so tired or whatever? I felt better than ever. I'm making this recording without any tea or anything. Now, when you slept for 8 hours, I feel great because you were sick, not because you were normal and had commitments to go to and things like that and had to set that clock. Your body shut down because it's what it needed to do to repair you, to bring you back to health. When you hit that clock and you're jumping and you're running around, you're messing up the natural tuning that God's given you. I'll give you 2 examples. Think about it. Biblical days, they didn't have digital clocks. They didn't have a watch. They didn't have... If Jesus told the disciples, I'll be here, meet me here. Jesus didn't say, I'll be there at 6 p.m. He might say, when the cock crows or whatever, I'll be over here. Meet me there tomorrow. Never once in the Bible does it gives you a digital, oh man, yeah. The apostle saying to Jesus, yeah, I'll meet you there exactly at, let's say, 6:30. No. When they went to sleep, they had more sound sleep. Why? Because they didn't have digital stuff and TVs blaring, lights everywhere. Because once again, at that point, they had lamps, not lights. You can turn the lamp dim so it's actually, and it was real fire, it wasn't a digital fire. Lamps had, kerosene in them, and you could turn them down a little bit, like that. And actually look at the flame, and it was almost like camping, looking at a fire. That's all they had. When they woke up, they woke up. That's when they continued their journey, following Jesus or going where they had to be to do their job or something like that. And that was the natural rhythm of things. You've heard that before. Okay, guys, I had to take a break. I can usually talk 4 hours without no problem, but when you got a bad cold, I have to take breaks. And I had to go get my tea. But anyway, we were talking about in biblical days, you got there when you got there. Not because people here say, boy, you just always late. Unless, in the Bible, unless Jesus said, meet me here tomorrow in the grove, and you show up 3 days later, you late. You just lazy late, unless something happened to you. But here, if you're 5 minutes late, they want to fire you. Why? Because of time, because of clocks. Now, there's instances where it's inevitable. You have to use a clock. If you've got a doctor's appointment, and it's an important doctor's appointment, and they tell you be there at 9, you just can't show up whenever and think they're going to see you. No, you have to set a clock, unfortunately. But these are the times we live in. I'll give you a more modern example. When even till now, there's a lot of farmers around the world who don't use clocks. They don't have clocks. They refuse to have a clock. One, they don't answer to anybody. Two, if you let their body wake you up naturally, that's why a farmer can plow his fields for 14 hours and be fine. Come in, he's tired. His bones ache, but he's not like, oh my God. And I don't like using God, but I worked 8 hours at work, and I'm just at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, I was ready to go, even though I had 3 more hours to do. One, you can hate your job, but two, if you hit that clock, your body was not done resetting, then you're going the whole day just sputtering. Another short example, I've got a friend. He's got a 1934, I forgot what the car was called. That's old. That was 80 years ago. That was during the Nazi regime, Hitler regime. His car is that old. But the thing is, problem is, not a problem. His car was designed to take leaded gas. Some of you don't remember when there wasn't unleaded, it was just leaded gas. We had lead in the walls, and you gotta make sure you don't have to do this and asbestos and all that other stuff. But anyway, so if his friend took his 1934 car, 80-year-old car, to Shell or BP and tried to put unleaded 93 in it or whatever, the car wouldn't work. It would barely start or sputter all the way home. He had to take, he had to put what in my when I was coming up, and it's still available, it's called Turbo Blue. It was a special gas that was super high. Here you get 93 or 97 octane. Theirs was like 107. That car was designed that it needed that much octane, leaded gas, to run. Well, guess what? God created you the same way. He created the perfect engine. You hear people say, I got a Lamborghini, it runs perfectly. I paid $1 million for it, it purrs. God paid much more for your body than that. And it's more perfect than the Lamborghini, but only if you let it be. So, back to here's the other thing. Think about it before you call me nuts. How many times you been late to work, go to work, sorry, my alarm didn't go off, or I slept through my alarm? Uh-oh, I got you. Why? Because your body said, no. Nah. I was in a deep sleep. No, you were in a sleep. And your body, you don't remember deep sleeps all the time. You remember some. Usually when the alarm goes off, I was in a deep sleep. Oh man, I was just... Okay. Without that alarm, if we live today without clocks, alarm clocks, microwave clocks, clock on clocks, clock, my humble opinion, when you disturb a natural order in the way God designed you, don't be shocked when you come down with sicknesses. I even think things like cancer and stuff. Biblical days, you don't hear, he died of cancer. No. Every day you hit that clock, you go to work and you have days you hit the clock and you have really good sleep. You go, hey guys, how's it going? And you're in a customer service industry and you're happy or whatever, but how many times have you gone to a customer service place and they're like, can't help you, and they look like The Walking Dead? Clocks. Uh, Another example that I find just totally hilarious. First day I had this cold, I told God, I want to do writing. I want to get back to my writing. I'll give you a day with this cold thing. I can't do much. I can't do anything more than that. You want me to write for you? Keep me healthy. That's my logic. So, I told God that. The next day, I felt like death. But, first thing came to mind, let me grab my cup of coffee, triple espresso with double shots of, guess what? Half hour, I felt good. I was out there dancing in the streets, and, doing my thing, and see, and claiming God did it. Oh, boy. Sorry, had to blow my nose and didn't know you wanted to be a part of that. So what was hilarious? Doing fine, talking to people, and people, well, tell me what your thoughts are about this, or your book, or your Bible, or something like that. Man, 3 hours later, I was calling the name of Jesus. Oh, I can't even walk home. They found me just laying in the street on the gutter. That's a lie, but I'm just trying to give you a colorful thing to it. I got home and I'm like, what happened? God said, duh. I didn't design your body to be pumped up with caffeine. Coffee, sugar, a slice of syrup, that gets to be, it's kind of perplexing though. If it wasn't for me having coffee all the time, why I was on all these psych meds, I would have never written a book. Why? Because I couldn't stay alert enough to write the book. In a way, I think God allowed it then, because it was like, this man is suffering. He's trying to write about me, but doctors got him on these drugs. Alright. Let Fred have the coffee for a while. Here's the thing. There lies the rub. Now, why don't I need coffee anymore? Why did my spirit say, you don't need coffee anymore? Let's try tea. I was allowed to have a cold to experience that. He allowed me to have that. Why? Because I was on meds, walking a mile to the coffee shop each way, each day. My body couldn't do everything. I needed the caffeine to bring me up to the level so I could write. I don't mean to be, when I go on and on about a message, it's usually because I think it's really important, or God has put it on my heart to talk about it. So we've gone to biblical days, Jesus now, saying, meet me tomorrow. He did not demand them to be there. He might say, when the sun comes up, start coming towards me. I understand that. Why? Because God designed the night, your body shuts down. That's it. You've worked hard for the day. Your body needs to repair itself. Another instance, you see these guys like this, boom. We used to call it cock diesel. That means you have big muscles and what you worked out at the gym. But a lot of people gave up on that because it was like, my muscles aren't growing. And a professional bodybuilder would say, tell me your regimen. Well, I go to the gym every day and I lift weights. And they would always say, well, that's your problem. You're supposed to lift weights for an hour, then take a day or two off. The muscle repairs itself and it grows. When you lift weights, you're actually tearing muscle, and then it repairs itself, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's how it works. If you go to the gym every day doing this and that, and not, your body's not repairing, that muscle's not repairing, then you're not going to build muscle. You're going to be in pain, but you're not going to build muscle. That's a fact. Ask anybody who bodybuilds. I'm like, ooh, too much work for me. But anyway, I wrote a couple of things down. Normally I don't, but I'm sick, so talked about that. Oh, I would have forgot this. If you're a Christian or thinking about being a Christian, this is true. We work on linear time. What linear time is, we work off a system that we work from A to Z, on the system that's A to Z, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's how we make sense of stuff. That's why someone says, oh, be here at 10. Okay, that's this time. Why? Because we need a time reference. Hence also the reason we say past, present, and future. God doesn't work that way. God doesn't work on a linear time. God is past, present, and future, all at the same time. And if you read your Bible and get into that, you'll start to understand that. He's the Alpha and the Omega. He's the beginning and the end. God was there at the beginning and all at the same time. That's how God can be everywhere at the same. He's omnipresent. He can be anywhere he wants to be at the same time. 1842, the beginning of time, dinosaur, whatever, whatever he wants to do, whatever he's making, whatever his plan is. Hence another reason. If you're a Christian or a non-Christian, thinking about being a Christian, have you ever, and don't lie, have you ever prayed for something, 2 days later you're like, God, nothing's coming through. A week later, nothing's coming through. Did he hear my prayers? Did I say prayers wrong? Did I do something wrong to block his blessing? No. God's not going to get back to you at 5 p.m. the next day. That's your time. That's not God's time. Here's another reason. Just trying to give you enough reason because I really love how God works. If I come home, many a day, I have come home, thought about Steve, thought about family in Italy. Oh, let me call Steve. It's 5 o'clock. I just got home from riding. Let me call and talk to him for about an hour. It cheers me up. So I pick up the phone immediately. I'm like, oh crap, that's not gonna work. Why? Because if it's 5 o'clock here, Italy is 6 hours ahead of us. So if I call at 5, there it's 11. Steve, what are you doing? I'm sleeping. Wow. Give that some thought. If you still think I'm mad, write me and let me know. If there's anything in my book you're like, he's I taught my son this. I said, maybe a couple weeks ago. I said, if you ever see me going just totally nuts, because I use this phrase, I said, memorize this. And he said, okay. If you see me going totally nuts, tell me, Dad, your cheese has slid off your cracker. Um, I have yet to said that to one person. They didn't just crack up. Took them a second to get it. I don't try to outsmart people, but I said that's going to be our code words. That your cheese is slid off your cracker. You feel free to use that if you want. Your friends will crack up. It'll make you seem super intelligent. But when you don't have to hit that clock, boom, 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 don't do it. Weekends, don't. Some people have Saturday and Sunday off. Oh man, I want to be at the bar when they open, 10 a.m. Boom, hit my clock. Why do you have to be there at 10 a.m.? You have nothing to do. They're open for 8 hours. Question yourself.